Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are about to start game number 2 here of the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. Our next match, the New York Warriors versus NEP White, who you just saw a few minutes ago. They lost their last match against NEP Blue, but now a chance for redemption against the New York Warriors. We'll go down the lineups real quick for the Warriors. Number 17, Armand Brunel. Number 9, Joe Testaverde. Number 31, Matt Castelluccio. Number 2, George Casares. Number 7, Leo Biscaya. Number 18, Brian Amundsen. And number 6, Darren Templeton. That's your lineup for the New York Warriors. And for the NEP White team, your lineup is number 14, Adam Ellis, excuse me. Also number 44, Eric Ferrazzani. Number 9, Graham Crowler. Number 3, Ashley Perkins. Number 13, Nate Loomis, although he is on the bench today, serving in a coaching role. And also finishing out the lineup, number 15, Billy Buffard. And so we're going to wait just a moment while we get the officials out and ready. Again, thank you all for watching our live coverage of this event this weekend. We will be bringing you matches all weekend long. Just waiting for the teams to come out onto the floor. Referees appear to be set. Teams are making one final huddle. And here on this court, we do have a shot clock, so we will be able to let you know how much time is left on that clock. Teams have 40 seconds to score a goal once they gain possession of the ball. 12 seconds to get over the center line. So we will keep tabs on that as we roll through this match. And it looks like the NEP Wildcats white team is ready to go. And we'll simply refer to them as the Wildcats in this match, as they're not playing their counterparts this time around. And the Warriors huddling up one more time, getting ready for their first match of the day. Looks like the referees and the Warriors coach having a little discussion over there. Not quite sure what's going on. But we should be starting the match in just a few moments. All right, and we're about to get started here. Our second match of the day, the New York Warriors versus the Northeast Passage Wildcats. Out on the floor for the Warriors. Joe Testaverde out on the floor. Also looks like Brian Amundsen. Matt Castelluccio also out on the floor. Now the Warriors getting down the floor. Nicely done by Ellis to prevent the goal there. And there is Joe Testaverde with the ball. Testaverde passes it back to Castelluccio, and there's a it looks like Ferrazzani now. Oh, Ferrazzani almost got knocked out of play there, and there's a turnover. Testaverde for the Warriors. Point now 2-0. New York Warriors found themselves down early in the match, but there is Adam Ellis to score for the Wildcats, and now it's 2-1 New York. And the pass into number 16. We had him listed as number 17. That is Armand Brunel. He was originally listed as 17, but he is in fact number 16. So Armand Brunel brings the Warriors up 3-1. And that is a turnover, excuse me, not a turnover, but it is going to go out of bounds in favor of the Wildcats. Ellis looking for a passing option, but everybody's kind of getting further away from him. Now Buffard gives him a little safety valve there. The pass from Buffard over to Ferrazzani. He's not going to catch it before it goes over the line. That is a turnover for the Wildcats. It was a good pass, but I think Ferrazzani got just a slightly late jump on that ball. So now the Warriors and Brian Amundsen passing into Castelluccio. Brunel now gets hooked by Ellis. The pass to Amundsen puts the Warriors up 4-1. Crowther into Buffard, back to Crowther. Crowther trying to get it down the floor, but nobody's open right now. Crowther trying to hold on to the ball as he's being tightly defended. And that is a timeout called by Crowther. NEP Wildcats trying to maintain possession here. And so now Buffard will inbound for the Wildcats. Crowther trying to make his way through, but Brunel holds him off. Now Buffard tries to screen out Brunel. Crowther, the pass off to Ferrazzani, and he's going to get there and put another point on the board for the Wildcats. 4-2 the score. Still fairly early in this match, just over 2 minutes have gone by in this first quarter. as Armand Brunel makes his way down the floor and tallies another for the Warriors.
Crowther set free by Buffard. He passes over to Ferrazzani again. Ferrazzani grabs the ball. Testaverde, Castelluccio hold off Ferrazzani, but Crowther's there to take the pass and bring the Wildcats to within 2, 5-3. Our current score. Brian Amundsen now passing into Brunel. Crowther trying to strip the ball away. Can't quite do it. Testaverde. The pass, and it hits Ferrazzani on his back, and Ellis will pick it up for the Wildcats. Ellis, and he's going to race down the floor and score another for the Wildcats. An errant pass brings the Wildcats to within 1. It's 5-4. Brunel making his way around, weaving through the Wildcat defenders. Testaverde. Buffard trying to hold him off. He does. Or excuse me, that was Ellis.
20 seconds.
Brunel gets over the line. That looks like it's going to be a 1 meter violation. No, that was a foul on the Wildcats. Excuse me. 10 seconds, so Brunel increases the lead for New York. It's 7-4. That ball rolling down the floor, and Ferrazzani gets cut off by Castelluccio. It goes out in favor of New York. Brunel gets around Buffard, and Brunel passes off to Testaverde. Joe Testaverde makes it 8. New York 8. NEP Wildcats 4. And if you watched our last match, you saw that the Wildcats are able to pull themselves from fairly deep deficits. I mean, they were down by 10 and pulled all the way to within 4. And it's still early in this match. They're currently down by 4. We have a timeout on the floor taken by the Wildcats. So while we take a moment to catch our breath, we're going to get a couple substitutions. And it looks like coming into the match for New York, number 7, Leo Biscaya. He's going to come in place of Brian Amundsen. Buffard passes into Ellis. Ellis over to Crowther. Oh, Crowther has to stay away from the center line, and he does. Good job holding on to that ball. Oh, and that ball hits off the back of Castelluccio. Testaverde picks it up for New York, and the pass down to Brunel. Turns into another point for New York. Graham Crowther tried to pass over to his teammate, couldn't do it. And that is a turnover and another point for New York. It's now 9-4, and another turnover by the Wildcats. Castelluccio puts them up now 10-4. And really not a good sequence of play there by the Wildcats, as the New York Warriors just rattle off a series of points there, and their lead is now 6. Crowder, the long pass. Ellis going to be able to get there before it goes out. He's trying, and he's not going to be able to get it. Just a little bit too much weight on that pass. It's going to be Wildcats to pass the ball in. And Brunel takes it away. Testaverde for the Warriors. Latches onto that. Takes it in, and now the Warriors up by 7. This game quickly getting away from the Wildcats. Let's see if they can find their rhythm here and get back into the match. And not like that. Another turnover for the Wildcats. Nice heads-up play by Brunel, and it is 12-4 New York. Ferrazzani gets the ball stripped away. Heads-up play by Testaverde. And we are going to get a timeout here on the floor. And my goodness, the NEP Wildcats have 4 points on the board, and they were only down by 1 or 2 at that time, and the New York Warriors just rattle off a series of goals. And unfortunately for them, they're now down by 8. It is 12-4 Warriors. It's about to be 13 if the Warriors can score here, and Testaverde does just that. 13-4 the score. NEP Wildcats desperate for a little bit of offense here. And Ferrazzani going to try to get one back. He passes over to Crowder. Graham Crowder stopped by to Testaverde. Oh, excuse me, that was Biscaya. And so it looks like the official is going to award a point. Let's see what happens here. But that is definitely going to be a foul on Leo Biscaya. So that is not going to be a point awarded to the Wildcats. They're still going to have to earn this one. But Biscaya in the penalty area. Ellis with the ball, being defended extremely tightly there into the match. Darren Templeton for New York. And Graham Crowder finally gets a point on the board for the Wildcats, and Biscaya now back into the match for the Warriors. Templeton coming into the match in place of Castelluccio. Brunel finds a path, scores another goal. Ellis looking for help. Brunel defending. And that is another timeout taken by the Wildcats. Again, they have 12 seconds to get the ball across the center line. They don't look like they were going to make it, so they were forced to call another timeout. And they're really having a difficult time moving the ball up the floor and generating any kind of offense at the moment. So while they're in this timeout, let's see if they can come up with some kind of plan to get themselves going again. They're down by 9 right now. So the Wildcats will inbound here. Ashley Perkins into Crowther. Graham Crowther. The pass to Ellis. Ellis gets cut off by Testaverde, but Farazani's there. Biscaya now racing, trying to stop Farazani, but he can't do it. Farazani with too much momentum just forces his way over the line. It's now 14-6. Close to a turnover there. Testaverde almost lost the ball, but Brunel there for the Warriors to increase the lead back to 8. Excuse me, back to 9. It's 15-6. Ellis, oh, that pass goes right back to him. Perkins had lost it, but Ellis was right there to take it. Now Ellis down the floor, stopped by the Warriors. The pass out to Crowther. He's right there. He had to lean back to catch that one, but he gets over the line. Armand Brunel once again for New York. And it looks like Brunel's just going to hold it for just a moment. Wind down just some of the clock. Point number 16 for New York. Ellis going into Perkins. Goes back to Ellis now. Adam Ellis. Smooth sailing down the floor. 15 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Testaverde for New York. The ball, oh, nice block by Farazani, but Templeton takes the ball. And that ball tipped away by Ellis. And it's going to roll out. And that is a 12-second violation on New York. 2 seconds left. Can Northeast Passage get one more on the board before the buzzer sounds? Farazani's in a pretty good place in between defenders there. Ellis is going to just try to lob it in. He's got Crowther there, who's being defended by Templeton. Farazani's right there between two New York defenders. Let's see what they can do here. The ball is in. Oh, and nicely done by Testaverde. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the end of the first quarter. Wait a second, one moment. Looks like we're going to get one more play. Referees are putting 1 second back on the clock, so the Wildcats will have one final opportunity to get it in. The lob in, and that ball tipped by Testaverde, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is now the end of the first quarter. New York Warriors taking advantage of some big mistakes by the NEP Wildcats. They find themselves up 16-8. We're going to take a break. When we come back, quarter number 2, you're watching the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start the second quarter here. The New York Warriors lead the NEP Wildcats 16-8. For ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson. And Farazani for the Wildcats has the ball at the moment. He passes off to Ellis. Adam Ellis takes the ball. He tries to get over the line. And Leo Biscaya tried to do what he could to stop him, but it wasn't quite enough. It is now 16-9. New York Warriors lead the Northeast Passage Wildcats. Into the match for the Warriors, and with the ball right now, number 2, George Casares. Brunel passes the ball down the floor. Oh, and it looks like Biscaya going to cause a turnover there. Ellis for the Wildcats going to close this lead down, and that is a goal for the Wildcats. It's now 16-9. That was a foul on Brunel for leaving the floor. Biscaya, that's going to be a turnover. Nicely done by Farazani. And now there's a fight for the ball. Ellis comes up with it. He tries to pass to Crowther, but he couldn't quite do it. So now Ellis is just going to hold on to the ball. Crowther. Graham Crowther now. And Leo Biscaya once again coming into the penalty area for leaving the floor. This will be a throw-in for the Wildcats. Crowther over to Farazani. That is a point for the Wildcats. It is now 16-11. Biscaya comes back in, and that ball just off of Bouffard's chair. Brunel lost control of the pass. Bouffard tried to gather control of it, but he couldn't quite handle it. So it's going to be a throw-in for the Warriors. Cazares now into Biscaya. Leo Biscaya trying to get down the floor. He gets it over the center line before the 12 seconds lapse, and Armand Brunel puts up number 17 for the Warriors. Ellis into Bouffard, back to Ellis, a little give and go there. He didn't really have very many options, so that was probably the smart choice there. Ellis gets around Brunel. Brunel trying to cut off Crowther, who takes the pass and scores for the Wildcats. Wildcats down by 5, 17-12 the score. Casares for the Warriors into Templeton. Casares, 12 seconds to get over the line. And he got it over the line just in time after 10 seconds, but errant pass. Biscaya wasn't ready for that, and so to bring the lead down to 4. Ellis takes the ball. Ellis is surrounded by defenders. Crowther now, Graham Crowther. He's still inbounds. Brunel trying to push him out, and now he's out. Good job by Armand Brunel to force Crowther out of bounds.
Cyrus into Brunel. Biscaya, is he going to be able to get that ball? He does. And there was no goal. Biscaya crashed into the cone. And in order for the goal to count, you have to be cleanly in the goal area, in the key area, and you cannot touch the cone. So that's a turnover for New York. Wildcats with the ball once again. Oh, and Farazani loses it. He gains control and calls a timeout. And New York with the ball. Good play by Leo Biscaya. So now the man responsible for causing the turnover is going to inbound it for the Warriors. Leo Biscaya sending it in. Brunel takes it. He looks for Biscaya once again. He's got it as he kind of balances himself just before he crosses over the goal line. 18-12, New York Warriors over the Northeast Passage Wildcats. Buffard carving out a space for Ellis to make his way through. And Ellis puts up point number 13 for the Wildcats. A little over 5 minutes left to go in this first half. And after that flurry of goals by New York, things have settled down just a little bit as these teams are now kind of trading points back and forth. Oh, and nicely done by Ellis. He uses those long arms to cause a turnover and get a point for the Wildcats. Well done. Adam Ellis just reaches those arms up in the air, collects the ball, scores a point for the Wildcats, and they're now down by 4, 18-14. Oh, and there's a turnover again by the Warriors. 2 mistakes right there. That was not a good play by Brunel right there. He had the ball, but he was drifting towards the Wildcats goal line. They lost the ball, touched the cone, went over the line. Wildcats now with a throw-in, and not much time is elapsed off the clock. Biscaya, the last to touch that, so Buffard sends it in to Crowther. Graham Crowther makes his way through. 18-15 the score. And the Wildcats done well to come back here. They're now only down by 3. Matt Castelluccio back into the match for the Warriors. Oh, and Armand Brunel almost lost that ball once again. And now Brunel trying to get down the floor. Ellis tries to hold him off. He can't do it. Oh, and that ball kind of bounces around the lap of Joe Testaverde, who manages to control it. 19-15. Warriors. And somebody just lost a tire. We're going to continue play here for just a moment, but now that ball goes out. Let's see who it was. And the way Adam Ellis is rolling, it looks like he might be the one who needs a tire replaced. Well, no, it looks like play's going to continue. I certainly heard air rushing out of someone's tire. But we continue here. Matt Castelluccio for New York. Graham Crowther cuts him off. Joe Testaverde scores for the Warriors. It's 20-15. Farazani for the Wildcats. He's being held. A little over the shoulder pass to Ellis, who passes over to Crowther. Crowther's not going to get there before it goes over And that is a turnover. New York still 20-15, the score right now. Brunel over to Testaverde, who takes it in 21-15 now. New York up over Northeast Passage. .344 left to go in this second quarter. And it looks like Brian Amundsen is about to make a return into the match. See, look for Leo Biscaya to probably come out here. Let's see. And that is indeed the substitution being made. Biscaya out. Brian Amundsen in. Brian Amundsen a 1.0 classification in place of Biscaya, who is a 1.5. Teams are allowed 8 total points on the floor. Graham Crowler trying to get over the line. He made it without touching the cone. Testaverde heads up the floor. He's got help. Amundsen blocks Testaverde over the line. 22-16. New York is up. Ellis with the ball. Ellis passes over to Ferrazzani. Oh, Ferrazzani loses the ball, but he's able to maintain control here. He gets it back. Amundsen gives chase. Ferrazzani, after a shaky moment there, scores the goal. It's 22-17. Castelluccio. Set ball, or excuse me, a jump ball was called, but possession arrow points to New York. Brunel makes his way through. He's got a path, and he's going to score. .23-17 the score. New York Warriors lead by 6. 2.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Crowther for the Wildcats. Trying to make his way up the floor. Oh, and a turnover almost caused by Testaverde, but the Wildcats hold on. That ball rolled out of Graham Crowther's lap. Ellis now trapped, but Ferrazzani there for the Wildcats. 23-18 the score. Crowther, nice turnover forced by the Wildcats, and they get another point on the board. 23-19 the score. Brunel takes that ball. Crowther tries to force him out, can't do it. That's a point for New York. Ferrazzani Scores another for the Wildcats. It's 24-20. .142 left to go in the half. The pass to Brunel makes it 25 for the Warriors. Just under 90 seconds now left in the first half. And the Wildcats are within 5. Warriors, again, earlier in this match, really scored a flurry of goals and went out in front to a huge lead. But the Wildcats able to bring it back down a little bit, but a turnover by the Wildcats gives New York goal number 26. Crowder now. Graham Crowder for NEP. Passes over to Farazani. Brunel tries to cut off Farazani to prevent the goal. He does. Good defense by the Warriors to squeeze out Farazani. Pass to Crowder. He's got it. Testaverde gives him a little jolt. Perkins now. Ashley Perkins for the Wildcats scores. 47 seconds left. 26-21. Testaverde, Ellis racing down the floor. Ellis is going to get out in front, but the pass out to Castelluccio. Matt Castelluccio with a goal. 35 seconds left to go in the first half. Ellis, he's got Crowder. Graham Crowder thought about passing to Farazani, but he's just going to take it himself. And he's going to hold the clock for just a moment. 17 seconds left. 27-22 the score. Warriors up by 5, trying to make it 6 before the end of the half. 14 seconds left. Brunel going to try to hold to wind the clock down. And so Crowder left the floor. This is going to be a throw-in for New York with 4 seconds left. It's Castelluccio with a long pass, a little too long, but it bounces right to Brunel, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the half. Well timed and well executed by New York. They had 2 seconds left on the clock, and Brunel was right there to take the ball. It is now 28-22. We're going to go to halftime. You are watching the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start the second half here of this match between the New York Warriors and the NEP Wildcats. For ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson. And the Warriors currently up on the NEP Wildcats. They went out to a big lead, and they're currently up 28-22. On the floor for the Warriors to start this second half, Matt Castelluccio, number 31. Also number 7, Leo Biscaya. Number 16, Armand Brunel. And rounding out their starting four for the second half, number 6, Darren Templeton. For the Wildcats, on the floor, number 14, Adam Ellis. Also number 15, Billy Buffard. Number 9, Graham Crowther. And finishing out their lineup, number 3, Ashley Perkins. Brunel taking the ball for the Warriors, passes it over to Castelluccio. Matt Castelluccio starts off the scoring in the second half. 29-22. Buffard for the Wildcats, looking for a pass in. It goes to Buffard. Castelluccio and Biscaya surrounding Crowther right now. Oh, and Buffard loses the ball. That's a turnover. And now the Warriors looking to extend their lead to 8. Castelluccio over the line. Two quick points by the Warriors. And the Wildcats now trying to get something back on the board here. Crowther trying to get around Brunel. He's going to try to pass off to Buffard, but Brunel strips the ball. It's going to be a throw-in for the Wildcats. As we wait for the official to bring the ball back, it rolled out of the field of play and halfway across the venue. Buffard over to Ellis. Wildcats back down by 7 now. Castelluccio trying to make his way to Wildcats defense. (31-28).
Excuse me, 31-23. New York up by 8. Ellis in a little bit of trouble here. Perkins is open. He is the intended recipient of that pass. Crowther now has got a job to corral that ball and get over the line and keep this New York lead manageable. Brunel. That ball over to Castelluccio. Nice long pass down the floor. Castelluccio looking for Biscaya. And now the pass goes over to Brunel, who comes streaking in for a goal. It's 32-24. Ellis gonna take that one. 32-25 now the score. Castelluccio just powering his weight on the floor, but Crowther cuts him off. Nice done by Graham Crowther. Ball, but he's not going to catch it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start the fourth quarter here of our match between the New York Warriors and the NEP Wildcats. New York up 43-30 over the Wildcats. There's going to be a comeback. The Wildcats certainly have their work cut out for them. For ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson. I want to thank you all once again for tuning in and joining us for our maiden broadcast. And Graham Crowther now for the NEP Wildcats will be the one to restart play. And it looks like the other official over there is just trying to make sure everything is in order on the score sheets as he talks to the people at the scorer's table. And it looks like we're ready to go. And there's a pass to Ferrazzani. Can he get there before the ball goes out? No, he can't. He reacted to that ball a little late. That ball was over his head and he kind of lost sight of it. So Leo Biscaya for the Warriors Sends it into Casares. George Casares. Testaverde now with the ball. And Biscaya couldn't quite catch up to that one. That's a turnover for the Warriors and the Wildcats of Northeast Passage. Will take the ball. It looks like Perkins is going to be the recipient here. Let's see. Farazani's going to take the ball, and it looked like for a moment that Perkins was going to do that, but Farazani into Perkins. Goes over to Ellis. Ellis now going up the floor. Casares giving chase, but Ellis is just a little too fast. Testaverde. The pass. Oh, and Casares lost it. And Farazani's just going to block Casares off. Turnover for the Warriors. Wildcats with the ball. Down by 11. Ellis over to Crowler. Crowder going to take that one all the way down. Oh, and he lost the ball. Graham Crowder running down the floor lost the ball, and that's a turnover. Now the Warriors looking to bring their lead back up to 12. That pass out, Testaverde's going to get there before it goes out. Nicely done. Testaverde looking to get around Crowder, and the Wildcat defense cut them off. That ball knocked out. Graham Crowder dispossessing Testaverde there. So the Warriors will get a throw in here. Leo Biscaya trying to get around Farazani, and he does. 43-31 the score. And that ball out, last touch by New York, so Northeast Passage will get another throw in. Eric Farazani for the Wildcats. (43-32) the score. Wildcats of Northeast Passage trailing most of the game. New York's done a very good job of forcing Northeast Passage into mistakes, causing turnovers, and they jumped out to a lead fairly early, and they've held on ever since. And Graham Crowder grabs the ball, almost lost it there. And now Ellis. Ellis is going to take it over the line for a goal. 43-33 the score. Leo Biscaya into Testaverde. Testaverde being held there. Oh, and there is a nice interception, but Graham Crowther could not control it. However, it looks like it's going to be Northeast Passage ball. Nope. Correction, it is indeed New York ball. The last touch off of Crowther. So Casares now for New York. And it looks like Northeast Passage stolen the ball. They have. Good teamwork by Crowther and Ellis. And now Ellis passes over to Crowther. Crowther trying to hold on to the ball. And Biscaya strips it away. Northeast Passage once again with the ball. 5.5 minutes left to go in the match. New York Warriors up by 10, 43-33. That ball bouncing off of Perkins, and Joe Testaverde for New York will take it. Crowther trying to prevent him from scoring. And so it looks like we're going to get a penalty here. Well, it was certainly a foul on New York for leaving the court. So Billy Buffard for Northeast Passage is going to send it into Crowther. Graham Crowther now. Passes back to Ellis. Adam Ellis rolls in for a point. 43-34. New York leads. Just over 5 minutes left to go in the match. Biscaya takes the ball, being chased by Ellis. Biscaya is just trying to run down some clock now. I mean, he's looking to score, but he's not looking really to score quickly. He's just trying to delay a little bit, and that ball was stripped by Crowther. Nicely done. Great defense by Graham Crowther there. Forces a turnover and wins possession back for the Wildcats. Ellis had the ball stripped away. Buffard sends the ball through, and Biscaya almost got it. Now Crowther chasing. Crowther gets the ball. Crowther passes to Ellis, and Ellis is going to score for the Wildcats. It's 43-35. The Wildcats creeping back into the match. 4.5 minutes left to go. I don't know if that's going to be enough time to overcome an 8-point lead, but you never know what can happen. However, Biscaya now extending that lead back to 9 for the Warriors. Ellis. Oh, Ellis loses the ball, but it was last touched by Biscaya. Biscaya tried to catch the ball, but he couldn't quite get a handle on it. So, despite losing possession, the Wildcats will retain possession of the ball here with a throw-in. Ellis using his teammates to clear a path. Nicely done by Buffard. That is a 12-second violation, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent defense by the Wildcats there. They really needed that to try to pull back into this game a little bit. They're down by 9, 4 minutes left to go. So we're going to get a quick timeout. Wildcats. Again, about 4 minutes left to go in the match. New York Warriors up 44-35. While we have a quick break, we have more action coming up in a little bit. Looks like the Northeast Passage blue team is warming up. We'll bring you that game in just a little bit. Lots of action still happening today. And then again, tomorrow we will be back to bring you Championship Sunday, the championship match starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time here in the U.S. So if you're watching from overseas, set your alarms accordingly. Now the Wildcats are back on the floor. And New York with the ball into Brunel. Brunel, the pass, Castelluccio takes it, scores a goal. New York up by 10. Ellis looking to pass. Brunel, good defense. Bouffard, nicely done. He saw the ball, he heard it bouncing behind him and reacted well to get it back. And there's good defense by Casares, but the ball gets through to Crowder. Tough goal for Northeast Passage, but it is a goal nonetheless. They trail by 9, 45-36 the score. Brian Amundsen now for the Warriors. Ellis trying to hold him off. Amundsen, Castelluccio there for help. Castelluccio now making his way around. Gets around for another goal. 46-36 the score. 3 minutes left to go. Ellis with a long pass down the floor. Bouffard's going to get there. Brunel, Armand Brunel for New York, holds him off. Oh, and Ellis loses that ball. He came in to take the pass. Pass was a little bit low. It bounced off the front of his chair. And now New York going to take the ball. 3 minutes left to go. They're up by 10. Now Crowder for Northeast Passage. Perkins. Passes over to Crowder. Crowder back over to Ellis. Adam Ellis. 13 seconds, 12 seconds left. Not much time left to score. They have to figure out something. And Brunel strips the ball away. Armand Brunel for New York. The pass over to Castelluccio. He gets there. And they score. 47-36. Time winding down here. 2 minutes left to go in the match. Ellis just outraces Castelluccio. 47-37. 2 minutes left to go. And at this point, 10 points is probably too much for Northeast Passage to overcome. The New York Warriors just too strong out here today. We're going to get a substitution coming back into the match for the Wildcats. Eric Ferrazzani coming out, number 15, Billy Buffard. Adam Ellis trying to just find a teammate to pass to, and Ferrazzani couldn't get there in time. Good idea, but just out of the reach of Ferrazzani. So New York going to take the ball again. 1:35 left to go. Warriors again still up by 10. Castelluccio lost possession there, and Adam Ellis for the Wildcats picks it up. Ellis makes his way through. New York still up by 9. Armand Brunel for the Warriors takes the ball. He's heading down the floor. Crowder trying to cut off his passing options, but Castelluccio is there. (48-38), just over 60 seconds left in this match. And again, the Warriors did very well to get a lead early and keep it. They've been ahead pretty much this entire match. The Wildcats tried to make it close for a few moments, but they just weren't able to mount any kind of consistent offense. The Warriors taking advantage of turnovers. And now, with 47 seconds left, the Warriors take a 48-39 lead. Castelluccio racing. He's not going to catch that one, though. And that ball is out in favor of the Wildcats. Graham Crowder, he loses possession of the ball, stripped away by Castelluccio, but that'll be a throw-in for Northeast Passage. 21 seconds left in the match. Northeast Passage trying to score at least one more before the end. Ellis heads down the floor. Ellis blocked off by Brunel. Ellis with 7 seconds left to score. Can Northeast Passage get one more? He's just going to hold it on to the ball for one final score. 1 second left. And this one is going to end, ladies and gentlemen, 48-40. Again, New York Warriors jumped out early, stayed on top, and they're going to win this one. We're going to take a break for a few minutes. When we come back, the next match, you are watching the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. We'll be back in a little bit.